You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. The strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast. We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny. Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby.
PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
And welcome everyone to PopXcast, episode 149 for this March the 9th, 2025. And tonight we are talking Daredevil Born Again, the brand new series. My gosh, the brand new series that's on Disney Plus that is, oh my gosh, everything we would want, everything we would hope for, and more. And so excited to be able to actually have our buddy on here tonight, Mr. Jeremy Stoltz from Jeremy Stoltz Creations. What's up, buddy?
Not much.
Dude,
Finally
welcome.
glad to make a show.
Welcome to PopX,
It's only
man.
been like a year.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you. It's almost a year technically,
yeah,
but
we're getting there.
But it's so good that you're able to actually finally to join and everything kind of aligned up in your world. If you guys don't know, Jeremy Stoltz is a Twitch streamer and has done some amazing creative art over his amazing span of years. And so tonight's stream will be, how many consecutive streams have you done back to back?
2351, I think, if my math is right.
2,351 streams every night. So how long is that? What is 2,351 days?
October 1st, 2018 is when I started streaming.
October 1st.
Yeah, I went live on an
2018.
Inktober and decided, well, if I was going to draw every day, I might as well stream every day.
Jesus.
And that's through multiple platforms.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
No,
And
it is.
You started on Periscope, right?
Yeah, Periscope, then went to Haps, and then I dabbled a little bit on a couple other platforms like Instagram and
Dude,
Facebook
that's crazy.
just to see.
That is
but,
so cool.
Landed on Twitch.
I'm so glad you're here, man. I'm so glad that you're able to make it. And guys, so if you guys want to check out Jeremy Stoltz Creations, you guys can check him. His art is available right now. If you go to twitch.tv/Jeremy Stoltz Creations, you will find this man right here. And every night between, what is your, it fluctuates, 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's at least by the 11 o'clock hour I'm starting.
That's what I thought, yeah. So make sure that you catch one of his lives. You will not regret it. It's absolutely amazing. And I know he's here chomping at the bit, ready to get on here because we've been hyping him up probably for the past 6 months now. But it's just so rad to have you on board tonight. And from all of us here at PopX, man, welcome aboard the PopX live team. So good to have you on board. I want to say a huge shout out over to the chat. What's up, chat? I got John McConnell, one of my friends here, John Ace Jam in the house, the Johnny McConnell. Hanging out, and we got Day the Gay Faye. What's up, Day? What's up, Day? She's part of our creative arts community in the creative multiverse as well, and just does amazing. I always see her in the streams. She's on Jeremy's stream, or she's on what? She hops into mine. It's just so cool to see familiar faces and familiar names when you're streaming, and you go, oh, there's Day. What's up, Day?
Yep.
Good to have you on board. Austin, before we came on, you had some news, dude. We may have to talk about this just briefly for like a few minutes.
Absolutely.
So, the Steelers, what just happened? What just happened? Like literally 2 minutes before.
Look, I know this is a movie podcast. I'm a massive Steelers fan.
Of course.
Joe's a Steelers fan.
Heck yeah.
I am so caught up in it. Tomorrow starts free agency. The free agency wide receiver pool is kind of like, all right, it's fine, but Pittsburgh needs a wide receiver, okay?
Okay.
Well, they just traded for DK Metcalf, a top 5 receiver in football from the Seattle Seahawks, and they now have one of the best wide receiver rooms in football.
What just happened? That's crazy.
Insane.
So that just literally happened right before I even hit the start button. Like
the second, yeah.
Just the second I hit the start button, it's like, what? That's huge news. That is huge news.
It's huge.
That's going to be good for
Massive.
the Pittsburgh. What's up, Coltini the Great? What is going on, Boo Steelers? I hear you over there, Colt. Colton is from the another region that is definitely not of the. Yeah. He's well. Good to see you though, Colton. It's good to see you. He just had his birthday yesterday. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Colton. Just turned 14 years old. He's part of the Blue Man Group fan community. Good to have you on board tonight, Colton, as we're talking about Daredevil Born Again. And Daredevil Born Again, I mean, I think we've gotten out all the pleasantries. There's really nothing going on new in my world in terms of like maybe just staying busy with graphic design, doing a lot of fun stuff. And there's some things I'm doing I can't talk about. Don't you love a good NDA contract? But when it launches, you guys are going to know it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to share it with you all. But yes, and Austin, anything new going on in your world? What's going on with the Burkinator?
Man, just same old thing. Watching movies, watching shows. I have to be very careful tonight,
I know,
fellas, because
yes.
I have seen all 9 episodes of Daredevil.
So it is. So
I have to be.
It's 9 episodes.
Very careful.
Yeah. We're only going to be focusing on the first 2 that's been publicly released right now. So I will check you. I will keep you in check. I'll make sure you don't go beyond White Tiger. We're going to keep that within that bubble. But it's going to be fun tonight, and there's just so much hype around this show, and it's just awesome. Jeremy, what do you have going on? What is new in your world?
Oh, just like I said, continuing my trend, and I've been trying to slowly plug away at getting possibly 2 comic books out before September, so that a comic and a ash can basically.
Well, that's kind of big though, right?
Yeah. And, well, if I can pull it off, yes, it's big.
Okay. Well, sounds great. Yes, NDA, Colton. I can't talk about it. Don't ask. All right, guys. Welcome to PopXcast, episode 149. We've already done the pleasantries. We're going to dive right in to Daredevil Born Again. I'm going to go ahead and roll the spoiler alert warning, guys. If you have not, I repeat, have not watched Daredevil Born Again, episodes 1 and 2. Right now, we're at the beginning of the season. We still have 7 more to go. Hit pause, come back, and watch it again with us, okay? All right. Spoiler alert coming your way right now.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been
warned. Daredevil. Man, what a show. This show, I love the continuity, how it literally picks right up after Echo and right after the end of the original Daredevil franchise that was on Netflix. You're getting some love over in the chat there, Jer Bear. Look at that. Dragon Tamer giving you some love. Look at that.
That would be Day's sister.
That is right. And I love that they've kept the same actors, they kept the same vibe, albeit a little more darker, a little more grittier, a little more gorier, perhaps. But at the center of this entire show of Daredevil Born Again is none other than Charlie Cox. And Austin, you and I were talking earlier in the week. We both concluded Charlie Cox, like Ryan Reynolds, was born for this role of Daredevil Matt Murdock. My God, dude, like, hot take. What do you think? How do you think after, it's been 7.5 years since we've seen Charlie Cox as Daredevil on a series. It's been 4.5, almost 3 years since we've seen him in Spider-Man No Way Home as Matt Murdock there. How do you feel he just went right back into this role? Do you think? I know what my answer is, but how do you feel about him?
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm curious to see if you agree with us on this. I genuinely think Charlie Cox should be in the conversation of best comic book castings of all time. And I know that sounds crazy because it's just a TV character. He's not even been in a movie yet. But specifically, the arc from season 1 to now, to these first 2 episodes, has been so impressive. So kudos to the writing. But also what he's reeling from at the end of that first episode. And, I know all throughout the season, but specifically episode 2, and you see that final scene in episode 2 when, boom, snaps, we're right back into it, dude. No one else could capture that like Charlie Cox could. And I would put him and D'Onofrio on the level of best comic book hero villain on-screen presence. Maybe. Dude, I'm telling you, man, by the end of season 4, and really, if we get 2 or 3 more good seasons, they have to be in the top 3. They have to be. Because they're that good.
Jeremy, what's your hot take on Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Daredevil?
When I went into the series that we're in right now a little nervous because having watched his cameo in She-Hulk and the way that they kind of comedied him up, I was a little worried that they were going to lighten up and go, in a whole different direction.
Thank God.
And the curveball that they threw us, and I don't know if they did that on purpose and maybe put him in this series with She-Hulk and get us okay, by the way, it's just going to be Disney-fied, blah blah this, and then just hit us with that left hook.
Yeah, I think they've totally disbanded the whole She-Hulk cameo. I don't even think that is... I mean, although there is a preview when he goes into his secret vault and you see the masks, there is that gold and red mask from the She-Hulk episodes. So it kind of is a tie-in, but we're not going to talk about that. I don't know. But, all right, so D'Onofrio, Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. My gosh, the weight of it. Just by the end of episode 1, the dude's about ready to pop. You can feel it, the tension boiling. And you can just tell that all hell is about ready to break loose. And I believe it was one of his advisors or somebody came in and was like, I know who you are, and I know what you're trying to do. Maybe was it Daredevil? Was it Matt Murdock he had a conversation with? He's like, I know what you're trying to do, and you're gonna blow. And when you do, you're taking the whole city down with you. And it was just, I had an epiphany, guys. You ready for the epiphany? You ready? Austin, you already know where I'm going with this. If Wilson Fisk is mayor of New York in the MCU on Earth 616, that means Wilson Fisk is the mayor of New York in all the future endeavors of the MCU. From the present timeline going forward.
Spider-Man and everything.
I'm like, now if they do back episodes or they do fast forward future episodes, he's not going to be mayor in the Fantastic Four world. But you know what I'm saying? It's like Earth 616, Wilson Fisk is mayor. And I wonder if that's going to tie into Thunderbolt. Dude, my mind was blown. I was like sitting there watching. I was like, Wilson Fisk, there's no mayor of Hell's Kitchen. There's mayor of New York. What?
Yeah.
Wait,
I'll tell you this.
Huh?
I'll tell you this. So, Joe, you watched the 90s Spider-Man series, the 90s animated series, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So, in that show, Mayor of New York, Kingpin, and obviously the comic books, has been a prominent, prevalent thing, but I never thought they would do it because to me, that's almost like the ramifications for the rest of the MCU would be so huge. You'd have to have Fisk everywhere, not just in Daredevil, right? So now that we've established that he is, to that level, I think Fisk is going to start to expand far beyond Daredevil, and there will be ramifications in other shows and maybe even Spider-Man. And I don't know why, but I'm thinking we get a Spider-Man Daredevil team up just like that 90s animated series in the future.
Dude. I mean, could you imagine Tom Holland and oh my gosh, Charlie Cox side by side.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
versus Kingpin. Yes.
And we do know from the trailers, this is no spoiler for those of you, that we do know that John Bernthal is reprising his role as Punisher, coming back in this season. I don't know what episode that's going to be, and I'm not going to pump my awesome film critic cousin for that information because I don't want him to do anything. But I'm just excited because we get a little bit of the White Tiger in here as well. we get a little nice little nod. Also, the actor who portrayed White Tiger did pass away in December 2023. And so there was a beautiful homage to that at the beginning of episode 2 and his character. But I just think, honestly, this setup, already the writing, right out of the gate, the first episode with Bullseye. And I do have a question about Bullseye, the character that killed Foggy Nelson. And if you don't know, well, you should know. I mean, if you're watching this, you should have seen the episode by now. Foggy was killed in the first 5-6 minutes, maybe first 10 minutes of the whole episode, and I was like, holy cow. And Jeremy, you shared a comic book with us recently, this afternoon. I didn't have time to pull it up because it's on my phone, and I would have to Dropbox it anyway.
Absolutely.
But anyway, it was really cool because it's directly from the comics, The Man Without Fear, Daredevil, and it was such a cool panel because it's literally ripping it right out of the comic books, right onto the screen, and portraying that manner. And it's just, wow, the weight. But my question is concerning Bullseye. Is Bullseye a super soldier? How is he able to survive the throw off the side of the building and then regenerate without...
There is a brief scene in season 3. So I'll be honest, I didn't go back and watch season 3, but there's a brief scene where they're reconstructing his spine because of something that happened. And there's a rumor floating around on Twitter that maybe there was some sort of amplification to his spine, some sort of vibranium, I don't know, to where, because what you're saying is reigning true with a lot of people, and people are theorizing that scene in season 3, they did something to kind of enhance his body to make him survive that.
And I think that's the downfall, is I didn't go back and watch. I mean, it's like...
I wanted to myself, but I didn't.
It's a lot to digest in such a short amount of time. What was it, 7 seasons? 6 seasons?
Yeah, no, only 3. Only 3 seasons.
Daredevil was only 3?
You've also got Defenders, only 3, but you've got Defenders, you've got Jessica Jones, and he cameoed on a lot of those. He
cameoed, they all kind of fed off of each other. But it was the thing, though. I do vaguely remember the confrontation. Was it the same actor that played? It was the same. Yeah, they got everybody the same. Oh my God, that's so amazing.
That's so cool.
It's so mind blowing that they got everybody back that's the same. But I think
if they're following comics at all, the stuff that they put in him in comics is adamantium. So now that we've got this, it could. They haven't mentioned it yet, but
so Bullseye has adamantium spine
in the comics. Yes,
is his
and
whole
adamantium? It was just introduced into the MCU.
It was Captain America: Brave New World.
Bro.
That's right. There it is. Oh my God!
There we go.
John McConnell says, "Can we just all agree Luke Cage needs to come back?" You know what?
Yeah.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Yes, John.
We need a proper Iron Fist too, and a Luke Cage. I thought the Luke Cage series was really good on Netflix.
He was good.
It was great.
Very good.
He wrapped up his series Evil, so he's free as far as I know.
But getting back to
That's
Bullseye, I love this discussion because there's a few things in this I either watched and forgot or didn't really think about in terms of like the adamantium on Bullseye's body. Now, another question, and Jeremy, maybe you can answer this: is it just his spine or his entire skeleton?
I believe parts of him, because he doesn't have quite the healing factor, or he doesn't have the, like with Wolverine where they just placed it all over his whole entire body.
But he would have to have the healing factor in order to his body to accept the adamantium.
Yeah.
Which would bring in the Deadpool. Deadpool's body is not adamantium. Is this dead? No. Deadpool doesn't have any adamantium. But it's just like the whole healing factor. He'd have to have that first, which means Bullseye is a mutant, which means Bullseye's first appearance was in the X-Men comics, which is the mutants. Oh my God, Epiphany, you're welcome. But it's just there's so many of these little things that you can dissect. But I think it's really interesting how we see the death of Foggy at the bar at Rosie's, and then it fast forwards to 1 year later, and now we're seeing Karen Page, Matt Murdock, and Kingpin. Kingpin is setting himself up as mayor, and we're seeing like how is Matt handling the death of his friend? How is Karen handling the death of her friend? And how is the relationship between Karen and Matt I guess was a thing. How is that going? And even raises more questions if She-Hulk and Daredevil were a thing, and Karen Page is, that's a love triangle. I can't wrap my head around that, so that can't mean that's canon. I don't know. Maybe somebody can shed light on that in the chat. I don't know. But yes, that's as complicated. That was like, wait, She-Hulk, but he's dating her. Was that after She-Hulk? Was that before She-Hulk? Where are we at? I don't know.
I'm thinking Matt can just say, I'm sorry I couldn't see, I didn't know.
Well, with that She-Hulk booty, I mean, do you blame him? I mean, but it's really interesting though. So we see the fast forward of the year ahead, and it kind of midway through episode 1, and we kind of see how Matt is kind of now teamed up with another lawyer. He's kind of finding his own stride. He's still helping people on the side, and that's how he becomes acquainted with the White Tiger case. He kind of witnesses an event that happens in the subway of some crooked cops doing some crooked things, and he kind of comes in and saves it, and in him saving it, he gets blamed for the death of this cop. And we all know, as the viewers of the show, that's a farce. It's meant to be set up as a lie. But I think it's a really great callback to the White Tiger and introducing that character as well. There's another layer of dynamic that's being added to. It just shows you the level of writing, how good it is on Daredevil Born Again, because they're creating a good writer, a good show. And Austin, you'll know, will create multiple layers. And some of those layers will get resolved while some of those layers will continue on. And that is the premise of good writing in terms of a television type series. When those layers are resolved too quickly, that's poor writing. But when you have layers and things like that, they're going, that is leaving the viewer like on edge, like, can you just resolve this, please? And it's never going to happen, because you've always got that friction between the two, the alpha males. And that would be Kingpin and Daredevil. So really quick, guys, so far, I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm trying to just kind of bring us all up to speed on what's going on in terms of the series. Let's talk the fight scenes, the choreography. Let's go to the first one with Bullseye and Rosie's upstairs, downstairs, on the roof, off the roof. It's just...
That was on par with the hallway scene.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like the pulling of the different people out of the way from getting hit and stuff like that. And
was that another one of those one-take shots, too?
I wonder.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
It was a one-take shot.
So they were able to mask a little bit of it with... so I watched the behind-the-scenes
like
footage.
Scene switching?
A little bit of...
Yeah,
a little bit of those effects were added, but the premise was kind of how they performed a lot of the other one-takes. I think one of the complaints that this season is getting is the look of it. It doesn't have that darkness and grittiness that the first 3 seasons had, because obviously bigger budget, they're going to make it look a little cleaner. But, and I know that's an issue that people have with episode 1, but as the show progresses, that for those people I think will become less of an issue, because it really settles in. And my fear of this looking and feeling like a Disney Plus Marvel show really went away after that initial, like, oh, it's a little different, but that one-take fight scene and the brutality and the bone crunching and the slam against the fridge at the end of episode 2. I know we were all thinking, Daredevil's back.
Yeah.
And really, while a couple of things have changed, they have kept like the integrity of those first couple of seasons on Netflix. And that, to me, is a huge win on Disney's part and on Feige's part. So kudos to them for doing that.
And, I agree. I was kind of worried about that. I was like, how gritty are they going to make this? Because if they're going to do this, they need to do it right. Because, Daredevil, the comics are gory and gritty. The storyline is hard. It's difficult. It's challenging. And it deals with a lot of topics that typically are in the modern era kind of frowned upon. And so to do it and do it right, Disney's going to have to do the R-rated. But they went the 18+ route. They went straight on with it, and I'm kind of glad they did. I mean, I want to say praise to Kevin Feige and the team, because they kept, like you said, Austin, they kept the integrity of the show completely intact. And I think not only just for the violent factor, but there's a lot of crap going on in this show that needs to be portrayed in such a dark manner, particularly when Punisher comes on board. And I know we haven't seen that yet, but it's one of those things. I want to say, Day over in the chat, according to the MCU complete timeline and the Disney Plus, this takes place after everything else. It's currently the furthest thing chronologically. Okay. So I'll bite that nugget. And that makes a lot of sense. So that means it's post No Way Home. It's post. I guess it would be post
Captain America.
Adamantium. So yeah.
Good theory.
That is interesting. That is really cool. Favorite moments. Getting back to the fight scenes and stuff, the choreography of this. Charlie Cox is not getting any younger, obviously, but the fact that he was able to maintain his level of performance on screen and just bring that heavy breathing and that gut-wrenching, just that factor that makes it look and feel so real. And in the episode 2, when he's getting the crap beat out of him, and he's coming back into the Daredevil, and he's feeling it, and he just has that moment. You could just tell he's at his pinnacle. My God, that level of acting with Charlie Cox is just so good, so good.
He plays off the disability like he is blind. I've never seen someone wwho can pull his eye in one direction and not break in a single scene. It comes off like I said, his acting is top notch.
It is. And I want to give a quick shout out to Diamond Dez in the chat. What's up, Desiree? Good to see you, my dear. Always welcome here on PopX. And I that last scene though, I feel that last scene does set up the rest of the series. And I think the end of episode 2 is probably the pinnacle where we're going to see Matt Murdock. Because this past year, he's like, I'm just going to play the good guy. I want to be the good lawyer. New York doesn't need a vigilante. New York doesn't need the devil of Hell's Kitchen. And that is anything further from the truth, because Wilson Fisk is creating a little bit of a nightmare in terms of his political endeavors, and he's got a lot of arms in the fire. And one thing that you need to keep in mind about Wilson Fisk, and I don't know how much of the comics is going to be coming into this, Wilson, although he was out for a while because of a gun injury from Echo, he still has a lot of arms in the fire in terms of black market and a lot of things, a lot of shady things that he's doing. And I am curious, and Austin, don't comment, I am curious to see how any of that is going to play into that. And I'm curious, genuinely curious, what's going to be his breaking point? What is going to make him turn from mayor into kingpin? That is the moment. And don't say a thing, Austin. I know. See, Austin's already seen all 9 episodes, so we can't say anything. But I am curious about that particularly. Like, how is that going to transpire?
Well, I will say this, and this is not a spoiler. I'm not going further in the episodes. One, just like an underlying theme of the season, one great thing that this season does is the entire 9-episode span, it is just a giant parallel between what's going on in Fisk's life, what's going on in Murdock's life, and how those are equally opposite of each other, but their journey is one and the same. And so whenever Fisk reaches a breaking point, or numerous breaking points for different reasons, at the same time you're getting that parallel of Murdock's kind of going through something similar. And so it's almost that, like, you can't live without me type thing. Like,
wow.
It's almost like Batman and the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Batman needs the Joker needs Batman. And that's kind of what they're going for here with Fisk and Daredevil. And I'm like, dude, that's brilliant. Like, if you're ever going to do that for a pair, it's those two in the Marvel Universe. And the way they do it, it's such a beautiful parallel. So beautiful.
So, in essence, Wilson is the Joker to Daredevil's Batman.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jerbear,
so sweet.
What do you have to add to that? What do you have to add to that? Because you're the comic book nerd here too. I'm pulling on your view.
I'm interested in a few things. I liked the fact that we weren't even a week into his candidacy or whatnot, and he's already pulling out blackmail to keep the commissioner going. So that was a nice little touch that I thought was rather cool. And the way he did it with like just the sandwich,
the newspaper,
and
just the newspaper hiding it with the paper. Like, by the way, your son is really nice.
Yeah.
You got a really nice son.
And probably my favorite character that I want to learn more about would be the journalist, which is BB Ulrich, because I think that's going forward. If they even just keep it, like again, they can bleed her over into Spider-Man. They can start spreading these webs out a little bit. So, and they did mention Spider-Man, not by a specific name, but when he was talking about vigilantes,
who wears Yeah.
I think that's a foreshadowing for where he's going.
I think it was like a vigilante who looks like a spider. I think it was like the terminology that he used. Yeah. I'm just really so hyped about this entire. I don't think there's been one Disney Plus show other than WandaVision. And I did like Falcon and Winter Soldier to an extent.
I like Loki a lot too.
Yeah. Loki, yes. Loki is definitely... I don't know how I would rank these. Chat, how would you rank your Disney Plus shows, and where would Daredevil be in that? Give me your top 5 in chat right now. Right now, give me your top 5 Disney Plus MCU Marvel shows as of the past 5 years. We'll start with WandaVision as kind of like the beginning of the MCU entertainment world on Disney Plus. But God, I have to say, for me, it'd be WandaVision. And I have a feeling that Daredevil may get up there.
It's just way up as it goes on.
Because I'm 2 episodes in and I'm sucked in so hard. And Daredevil, and then definitely, let's see, WandaVision, Daredevil, and Loki. I would have to say Loki. Loki is such a solid... See, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Are just, wow, complete fire. I know it's hard, Day. I know it's really hard, but you can do it. When he got called Kingpin in the cemetery, I got chills. Yeah, that was a dope moment. That was a pretty yeah. So it already looks like so far this season is going to be is great. We have characters that we've seen in the trailer who's not even in the show yet. And what's going to become of White Tiger, what's going to become of John Bernthal's The Punisher, Frank Castle, when he comes in. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it greenlit that they're making a new series with Frank Castle, The Punisher, or is it going to be a movie?
It's some sort of, almost like what they did, the Disney specials, where it's like that 45-minute.
Right.
I think that's what they're doing. So kind of like a TV movie, but on a movie budget.
On a movie budget.
On a movie budget.
Yeah, Werewolf by
and
Night
Bernthal
was amazing.
came out. Yes, Bernthal came out yesterday and said, "If you think we're pulling our punches on this, think again."
Oh, nice.
Really?
Which means, and he basically hinted at, this is going to be the bloodiest thing that Marvel's ever put on Disney Plus.
And I'm sure he's already shot some of it, so he already knows.
Yeah, and he's well in the writers' room too. They're letting John Bernthal. It's almost like his baby. This process.
Wow.
Which
could
that's
it be
good.
Could it be Punisher Warzone that we're getting?
Bro, if they go comic inspired, there's like 3 storylines. I'm like, yes, and yes. And Bernthal knows his stuff too. That's the cool part. He knows his stuff.
And I think a lot of people don't know this, and I'm glad you parked on that. Bernthal is a huge comic book nut himself.
Massive.
And so you think like Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill loves The Witcher. Like, that was his thing, and he wanted to become Geralt in The Witcher, and he did. Well, John Bernthal wanted to become Frank Castle, and he did. Yeah, and I think it just shows that level of passion. But, my God, that's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it is.
But getting back to Daredevil Born Again, I know, Austin, that your review... you gave it an 88%. Now, do you want to break us down? Like, I know you have criteria and how you rate things.
Yes.
So kind of give us a little insight on, like, why was it 88%? What was the score? Why?
So, essentially, it's in line with my favorite Marvel shows. WandaVision, Loki, Daredevil Born Again, all basically 9s out of 10s for me. Where it fell short a little bit was those very minor, distinct changes from the Netflix series that I do think are a little notable.
Yeah.
Then there is one episode halfway through, which we've not gotten to yet, but it's a good episode. I enjoyed it, but I would constitute it as filler. It's a filler episode where it's a side quest, and we're involving another element of the MCU that I was kind of like, good episode, let's get back to the story type thing. And then, won't spoil anything, the finale is awesome, but it's very, let's tease season 2.
Oh.
And so it's awesome. And there is a complete arc, but it is one of those seasons where the episode before the finale is like the jaw on the floor moment, whereas the finale is the fallout plus here's what's happening next year. And so I didn't quite love that, but I'm still going to say those final 2 episodes were some of the most epic, grounded Marvel storytelling I've ever seen.
Jeez.
And so I'm not going to say there is no payoff, because there is a payoff to season 1. And where we are at the end of this season, it's the coolest spot I think we've ever left off with a Disney Plus project.
Jeez.
Cooler than any of the post-credit scenes, cooler than the end of Loki season 1. Like, I am over the moon for season 2 right now.
Wow.
And that's how I feel.
That is
freaking
high praise, man.
Yeah, man. It is top. It is fringe, top 12, top 10 Marvel MCU projects ever, and I'm talking movies included, for me.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
That's
great.
That's wild. Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, that makes me pretty hyped for the last 2 episodes, honestly. It sucks that they're going to be tethering these off, in the way that they're going to be doing over the next 7 weeks or something, or 6 weeks or something. I was like, really? We got to wait this long for this?
I know.
Dang, dude. But I did expect a filler episode, as you were saying. I'm not shocked, because that usually is in every Disney Plus Marvel show.
Yeah.
There's always some stupid filler side quest, but
here's the good thing about this filler episode, though, and I'll tell you this: most filler episodes are like a side character. It's a Matt Murdock filler episode, so at least we're with the main character.
At least
the quest that we're on, he diverges a little bit and does this other thing, and so it's still really fun. But I want to get back to Kingpin. You know what I mean? That's how I was feeling.
Let's get back to New York and the problem that's going on. That makes a lot of sense. And geez whiz. So if I was rating this right now, I've not seen, unlike my cousin here, Austin, I have not seen all 9 episodes. But based off of the 2 that I have seen, publicly released right now, with number 3 dropping on Tuesday, I would say easily for me an 80% in terms of just what I've seen. I mean, and it's very on the surface. The first 2 episodes, you're just kind of getting into the waters, so to speak, of this whole new storyline that the Disney Plus crew have created. And so I'm enjoying where it's going. And like I said a few minutes ago, I'm enjoying the layers of complexity that they're applying onto each character and creating these dynamics that you as the viewer just want to be resolved. And like you just said, Austin, you kind of teased it in the finale, it's not going to get resolved in season 1. And so that just pretty much confirms what my gut is already telling me. But I will say this in terms of PopXcast, we will be back when the series wraps. We're going to do a wrap series episode on PopX, and so probably 7-8 weeks down the way, we're going to do a Daredevil full-on series review, where we will actually pick up on episode 3, where we're leaving off tonight, and you guys can go through, and we're going to just talk about everything that transpired, so everything that you're going to be getting. So be looking forward to that. My nerd up front, have we missed anything, Jeremy? Is there any Daredevil lore that we want to talk about? Is there anything that you want to say specifically about Daredevil?
I have fallen off on reading Daredevil because I don't pick up current comics anymore.
Same,
But I do have the Marvel Unlimited app, so I can and I will be going back and actually reading the stuff that I think is going to be around, like the Brubaker series, which is a series 2 stuff. But that's got a ton of issues, so I'm not going to get through it in one night. I do think that when Punisher gets introduced, I think we're going to see a little bit of the more modern Punisher that was in comics, where he's actually against people, using his symbol, because I kind of see like how the cops are kind of going, and I got a feeling some cops are going to show up with the Punisher symbol on it. That's what's going to bring them out to be like, get that off your chest.
I saw that tattoo of the cop with the Punisher symbol on his arm.
That's what led me to believe it. Yeah,
like what the heck was that all about? I didn't pick up on that. I was like, whoa, wait, what?
In mid 2000s, they did a series where, because of real life cops actually using the Punisher symbol, Marvel came out and basically had an issue of Punisher where he actually comes up to these cops and they're like, hey, you can do what you want, we're big fans, and Punisher goes off on them big time, and it's just like, you do not wear my symbol. This is not a symbol of hope for you. This is a symbol of death.
This is not the Superman symbol. This is a symbol of vengeance.
And so I'm hoping that's what that's alluding to, is that little, with him wearing that's how we're going to get
Austin
Punisher
is
back.
sitting there completely silent right now with his hand over his mouth. His face is blood red. I think we've tapped into something that we can't even talk about.
Yeah, he has no idea what we're talking about.
Okay.
But like I said, I do plan on catching up on the stuff, and if anyone
just
wants
turn
to do
around,
that,
oh my god. So guys, I really thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We're keeping PopX a little more leaner, a little more cleaner, a little more kind of more fine-tuned as we used to, and for a purpose. We got your attention for an hour, and we greatly appreciate that. And we're not going to let these shows go very long anymore. We're just going to kind of keep it high and tight, concise, right to the point. And this is PopX. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're doing. Boom, here it is, straight into the content. And I think for me that's more of a systematic way of doing it. But back to Daredevil Born Again, man. I'm so excited for this season. Jeremy, right now, as of right now, we know Austin's review. Mine's 80%.
Yeah.
What would you rate on the two that you've seen?
Yeah, on the two that I've seen, I'd throw it as a mid 80, only because to me the first episode was essentially like lighting a match, and then the second episode was hitting it to the fuse. So we got the fuse starting, and I got that's how it felt.
That's a good analogy, bro.
I love it.
I watched
these
with
That's
my
perfect.
wife, and towards the tail 15 minutes of the first episode, she was passed out. And she's like, she went back and watched it, on the first episode. Second episode, we watched it, and it was even later the next night. I don't think we started it until like 3 a.m, and she's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. So if I fall asleep, just watch it without me. I'll watch it again. She was on the edge of her seat the whole episode.
Yeah. Same. I was too.
So that right there tells me, because like I said, she's a fan, but not a fan. She'll watch them with me, but she, if she misses an episode, it's not going to kill her. And that one, she was right on. So.
That's awesome, bro. That is so cool. Well, you know what? Listen, we've chatted about the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and I am super happy with the cast. I think this is one of Vincent D'Onofrio's, the dude was in like Full Metal. He's been in so many great movies as like intense psychological characters. Have you guys noticed? If you go back and look at his movie list that he's performed in, start right off. Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick. One of the greatest wartime films of our life. Oh my God, it's insane. But D'Onofrio was in that, and it's just like, wow, what a seasoned actor, what a man who knows how to convey an intense role of villainy. It's just, what a perfect casting. Can't say anything else bad about it. Darth Baca gives it a 7 out of 10. And that's respectable. That's respectable. But like I said,
the filmography they do with him, because he's a big man already, but
he's tall. He's a big dude.
When they film him, they do it in such a way that he looks like he's twice his size.
Yeah.
Well, you see him in interviews and stuff like that. That he doesn't look that big. He's got his hair growing again. He doesn't have the bald cap on, stuff like this. He completely transforms. Yeah. He isn't Vincent anymore. He's Kingpin.
He's that deep voice. That deep voice.
Yeah.
So many layers. Well, guys, I appreciate you all so much for hanging out with us tonight on PopXcast, episode 149. We are so close to 150. What a milestone episode. Wow. Stay tuned to our channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. When we go live, you guys will be able to know. And we are going to do something very special for episode 150. Us and my crack investigative staff here, we're going to put together something pretty special for you. And I think, it's only fitting that we honor one of PopX's former, co-hosts as well in that process. And so some very cool stuff we have. Episode 150 is coming in just a few weeks. And so make sure that you hit on that subscribe button. You let us know. Austin, are you good? Have I missed anything?
No, man, that covers the bases. I think 150 is going to be amazing when we talk about the brand new Snow White remake. What an episode that's going to be.
Can't go bigger than Snow White.
And we all know that the CGI on the Seven Dwarfs is going to be a 9 out of 10. We already know it is not going to be creepy at all. It's
no, not at all. No creep. No creep at all.
It's so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, but really, we're not. Really, we are. Really, we're not. Really, we are.
You'll see.
You'll see when we schedule it. Jeremy Stokes, it is good to have you on episode 149. Welcome to PopX,
I appreciate
man.
you guys having me here.
Yeah, official Team PopX
It's gonna be a
member.
good ride.
Yeah, man, we're going to have fun. It's going to be great. And make sure you catch him. He's going to be going live. What time tonight on Twitch? It's 9 o'clock right now. Almost
only
9.
Not for a couple hours.
Okay, so catch him.
I'll go on right around 11.
Oh, about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Watch the dude make some live art. You will not be disappointed. Twitch.tv.
And how many live streams in a row was that again? What was the number?
2,351.
2351.
Why do I remember that number? Why do I remember that? I don't know why I remember that.
Come on.
I don't know. I have
Come on.
Dude, you're
incredible.
And there's been a few hairy calls where I almost didn't make it and had to break a streak, but no, didn't do it.
Wow.
You're a beast, right?
What?
That's a beast. That's a beast.
You're a beast.
I take insanity when someone's like, "That's impressive." I'm like, "No, it's insane."
You're the GOAT. You are the GOAT. When it comes to art streaming, you are the GOAT. You are the one we all strive to be like.
I'll take the Tom Brady crown.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even like Tom, but I'll give him his props.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he deserves it. I don't like him, but he deserves it.
You do.
Like I only don't like him because of how good he is.
Lord have
Yeah,
mercy.
exactly.
On that, my guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all so much. We're gonna hightail it out of here. We got to get on with the rest of the week. I hope you guys have an amazing start to your week, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure if you're listening on the podcast version that you are subscribing and downloading. Enjoy the audio version of this broadcast. You're always welcome to come to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/PopXcast. Subscribe, like, hit notification bell. Let us know that you love us, and it just helps us with the algorithms. But from all of us here at PopXcast, we will see you next time. You all have an amazing, and I do mean amazing, week ahead.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Love you.
Bye.
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 From everyone at PopXcast, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you know when we go live next. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Throw us up a like on Instagram and all those other social media outlets at PopXcast. Until next time.